Welcome into another episode of Outside Shots. I'm your host, Saul Bookman. I am scrambling like crazy today, but I have made it back. I made it back, Eddie. I made it back from Kansas City, and it's time to get going. How are you doing?
I'm good. I made my smoothie this morning.
Why do you have to drink it like that? I have known you for a decade, and I've never seen you drink anything as obnoxiously as you're drinking it right now. Who opens their mouth that wide just to suck it out of a straw?
Hey, you know what I put in the smoothie?
Banana protein, memory loss supplements. I don't know.
Yeah, the apple cider vinegar. So I got to work on the midsection to get it straight and tight. Yeah.
All right.
That's what we do, man. That's what we do.
How was your weekend?
It's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
I think that response says it all, right? The Phoenix Suns have just been struggling that bad. They've been struggling that bad. And they pull you in, let the Kings win, and then they push you right back out when you see one of the worst first halves in terms of effort you've possibly ever come across. And that's a real disappointment, Eddie, especially after we talked last week about, they're not that far out of play-in, and they still aren't. They're only a game and a half out. And if they win against the Raptors tonight, they're only a game out, which is going to give everybody this hope. But I'm ready to tell you, man, if they lose either one of these next two games, it's over.
Schedule is very difficult, and these teams that are very good that they're going to play coming up here, they're playing for something. And so normally at the end of a season, like, you can kind of like get away with some stuff, right? Because teams will start resting players and stuff because, they're getting ready for the playoffs. But in this situation here, the Suns are going to be playing some teams that are still jockeying for position. And so now when you talk about strength of schedule, a lot of times it's overrated because of the fact that, teams are probably not trying to play their key guys at the end of a season. Whereas now it's a little bit different. The races are extremely tight. And so now a lot of these teams, they can't afford to mess around and not play their guys and rest their guys at the end of a season. Now, obviously, the Lakers they had to do it with LeBron. He tweaked his groin and he didn't play. But if you look at the Suns' schedule here coming up, right? So you're right. They got Toronto and they got Chicago here, right? So you would like to think those are the games you have to win. But then you follow that up with Cleveland. Now, with Cleveland, they've been resting their guys on and off. They pretty much solidified the Eastern Conference, but they haven't solidified the top record in the NBA. So they can't rest everybody yet because they want home court advantage all the way through. And so they've worked hard all year to get it. So why would they just give it to Oklahoma City? Now, they're not going to do that. So they're going to play their key guys. They might rest a guy here and there, but they're going to play their guys. Milwaukee, they're desperate, right? They're trying to hold on to a spot. So, and so they're going to play hard. Boston, regardless if they rest guys or not, they're so deep that they can still beat you. So New York, same way. They're still fighting to hold on to a spot. So that's going to be an issue. Golden State, you know, again, them too. They're trying to move up. So think about all these good teams that they're playing. And then you get to Oklahoma City, and again, they're trying to play for the top record. So the Suns are going to go through a stretch here where they get no break. So they have to beat the teams they're supposed to beat. And those teams will definitely be Toronto, Chicago coming up, and at the end of the season, San Antonio, Sacramento. So those are 4 wins, say you count, and Dallas is trying to lose. You know, they're going to fake everybody out and send Anthony Davis to the G League to work out. I don't believe that. I don't still think he's going to play the rest of the year. But if he does, that's going to be a problem. But I don't think they want to win. And that's the funny part, man. They're trying to lose, and yet we still can't catch them. That's the part that's getting to me right now.
That's the crazy part is it's like everybody, it feels like the entire league's like, here, come and take it. Like, we know we don't want it. Come and take it. And the Suns are still finding ways to not take it. And they're trying. That's the sad part. They're trying, and they have three players that you know, should not be losing like this at all whatsoever. And so, hey, listen, let's get to it. You know, I think the best place to start is yesterday at halftime. Stephen A. Smith went in on the Phoenix Suns, and if you didn't get a chance to hear it, I don't know how you didn't hear this.
I would encourage us to give a public apology to a national audience for that atrocity we saw in the first half. No effort whatsoever, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. 2 for 11, 18 rather, shooting from three-point range, 11% from three-point range. The Phoenix Suns resembled a little kid that was placed on punishment by his parents and assigned to do chores. That's how they made playing the game of basketball look in the first half. Like it was this arduous, painful task that they had to subject themselves to. That's how bad they look. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful.
So I was over there as well. One thing you can see, Malika, and Perk, you know this by playing, and Stephen A. was there too. When you're at a game, you can see the effort.
Yes.
You can feel it. It's different. And TV does a fantastic job of covering the games.
Right.
But when you're there, you can watch all the players. You can watch off-ball stuff.
Yes.
And to see Phoenix, it is like Steven said, it's almost like, guys, I mean, do you want to play?
Yes.
Do you want to compete? I don't understand. I'm flabbergasted.
Why?
I don't know. I thought they'd be better.
I said it in January. I said it in February. And here I am saying it in March. They don't have a leader. No one is going to question the talent of this team. But they don't have a voice in the locker room that's going to hold these guys accountable. And all of a sudden, guess what we see again? Mike Budenholzer stressing the hell out, having to go off in the timeout, having to get into it with Kevin Durant. Because guess what? His team is not playing hard and competing. They're only, Malika, 1.5, maybe 2 games out of the play-in tournament? What are you doing?
I mean, there's not much else that needs to be said about that. Hey, listen, EJ, you played in the NBA, you played in college at a high level, and I think the definition of one of the worst things you could be called as an athlete is apathetic. You know, just kind of going through the motions, like you have no heart. You know, and that's exactly what this feels like. And Kendrick's not wrong. He's not wrong about the leadership part of this. He's not wrong, because you can't look at this team and say that they have a bona fide leader in any way, shape, or form. You just can't. And as much as these guys, you know, tend to have these clickbaity kind of, you know, takes, their substance in this regard is justified, and I believe it 100%.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a rant that's deserved. When you're struggling and you're not getting it done, and the perception is the perception, however people look at it, it's deserved. It's hard for me, man, because, you know,
your camera's off, Eddie. I don't know what happened.
My camera's off?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
My camera cut off?
Yeah. Anyway, you can keep talking. You can keep talking.
No.
Oh, never mind. No, you're good. Never mind. You're good. You're good. Keep going.
I'm good. Yeah, I don't think that was me. I think that was on the other end, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But, you know, way to blame it on me.
My bad.
Played in the league 17 years. And it was a lot of deficiencies. It was deficiencies that I had. And so I'm not this perfect guy getting ready to make this critique. I truly am not. It was some things that I was limited at doing. And more so because maybe of athleticism, if anything, but not because of desire, not because of trying to do the right thing. And played in, I think 9 of those years I played in 82 games. 81, I think a couple of years, the rest of them 82. I showed up to play every night because I loved the game. That's why I played till I was 40. I loved it, man. And every game, I'm telling you, and I can honestly say this. Every game that I put that uniform on, when I got out there, I competed as good as I could. I competed, man. And no matter if our record was poor, no matter if it was good, I never went out there, man, and just said, yeah. And you can look at me and say, I don't know if he wants to be here. That should be an embarrassment in what Stephen A. said and what Bob Meyer said. He was the second voice on that tape. And then what Kendrick Perkins said. To me, instead of me being upset and going at those guys and looking at them sideways, what I would do is look in the mirror. Because they're not the first to say it this season. They're not. I've said it on telecast. You know, you can look at somebody and see if their energy is drained. Okay, you can do it. If you've been around the game long enough, you can do it. And yesterday was a national game. Okay, it was a national game. Opportunity for America to see you. And to come out and be down 16 in the first quarter was a huge negative. Against a team that just returned from a trip on the East Coast, and normally the first game back is the toughest for those teams coming back because they're glad to be back home. And they came out with more energy than we did. And that's part of it, man. And so all those guys need to look in the mirror, man. If they want to make a play in, if they want to, they're going to have to go through the toughest road that they've had to go through all season. All those games that they've lost. Okay? All those teams that they should have beaten. Now it's come back to haunt them because of the schedule that they have at the end. And if they really want to get into it, they got to come out with playoff intensity every game. And if they don't, they will not make the play-in, and it would be an embarrassment because Dallas is not trying to make it. And so, you know, you got to take the criticism, man. When you're not doing the job and you're not showing that productivity, you got to take the criticism. And you can't push back. You can't say anything other than go out with effort. And it's just hard for me because I just know, man, anybody, like I told you many times on this show, you can talk to any teammates that I play with. They will tell you that when I lost, I hurt. Like, it ticked me off. Like, I couldn't function. And I feel the same way. And this is what's really like, I've taken a break from the team for a while. As people realize, I haven't been doing as many telecasts here lately. And the great Ann Myers does the games. And I take 16 games off. And a lot of it, too, it was been good for me this year is because it's been hard on me to see us struggle like this. And it's kind of bothersome. And so for me, it's good to take a break. I'll be back for the rest of the season. I'm going to call the rest of the games except one as we finish the season. But it's just hard, man. I take losses with this team. Maybe, I don't know. I hope not as hard as they do. But when I drive home after a loss, man, I'm ticked. And I don't even play any freaking more. And so if I see somebody out there not feeling the pain that I'm feeling right now, it bothers me. I don't have to say who it is. I don't have to call out a player's name. You know who you are if you're doing that. And it just needs to change.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. And I think JJ Redick even said it after the game, kind of to your point. He had this quote to say, basically after coming off of their road trip, he said, it is very abnormal for a team to come back from an East Coast trip and that next game, a day after the trip, come out with more energy than the other team and play harder than the other team. He's talking about the Suns. He's talking about how did the Suns have a day off in between games, go and play LA, and they look like they're the ones that just came back off of a long road trip. It doesn't make any sense, and that's a real travesty when you're talking about this Suns team right now. And then to your other point, just the overall aesthetic of the NBA and how it's shifted so much in the last couple of years. It's been tough. It's been tough to kind of watch if you're a very mindful competitor, if you're somebody that has, fans are very passionate. And I think the way that the NBA is kind of trended, and also the NBA's fault as well, we'll get into right after this. Folks, I know we did just an amazing job of selling this, but if you have any opportunity to go to Circle K, you should. EJ actually told me this morning, I have some renovations going on at my house right now. That's why I'm on location once again, even though I'm back in my own city. And he said, why don't you just tell those people to go hang out at Circle K for an hour? And there was part of me that said, you know what, I probably should do that. And I'm sure they would have appreciated it because, listen, at Circle K, you get all the deals, you get all the hookups. You get 79 cents off of these Frosters with Polar Pops. You get up to 25 cents off per gallon for your first 5 Phillips if you just sign up for the Inner Circle app. And then you get all the free drinks you could want actually not all the free drinks you want. You get 5 free drinks when you first sign up for the Inner Circle app, plus all the benefits and all the discounts that you get on gas, on snacks, some of the most elite brands, obviously at Circle K. So Circle K is well known here in the Valley. You should be going to Circle K no matter what. Forget those other convenience stores. Circle K is where it's at, and Circle K continues to improve across the state. They're building new locations. They're upgrading their facilities. I mean, Circle K truly cares about you guys. So if you have the time to go to Circle K and hook yourself up, please do so today. Go to CircleK.com, download the Inner Circle app, and see CircleK.com for more details. And in addition to that, obviously, as I mentioned a little bit before, the sell here probably wasn't great leading into this, but it's okay because Spinato's is still one of the best places you can go to get a round of pizza. And at Spinato's, you can hook yourself up with an opportunity to win tickets to Suns games. So that's great. At Spinato's, you can play this game called Pizza. It's basically replaces horse with an opportunity to win Suns prizes, tickets, giveaways, you name it. And you can also win free pizza for a year. That's pretty good. So Spinato's, if you've never been there before, they've got some great pizza, some of the best pizza in the Valley. You should go check them out. Spinato's Pizzeria is they got multiple locations. My favorite one's actually the one over in Tempe. Pretty convenient. And it's the space to watch Suns watch parties. They do away game watch parties over there. They'll bring the grill and the dances, the whole 9 yards. So it's a great time to go and have some. So you can learn more by visiting SpinatosPizzeria.com. All right. EJ, going back to what we just kind of finished off with. The feel in the NBA has changed. And the reason why I do believe it's changed is because there's always an unknown result or circumstance that sometimes will happen when you institute rules or standards of conduct, and then there's these offshoots, these little byproducts of these rules that maybe you didn't think of when you were creating these rules. And I think one of those is the NBA's just strictness on trash talk, their strictness on physicality to a certain degree, the little ticky-tack things. For instance, if a guy's getting a rebound and you clearly know that he doesn't see the defender coming in to try and swipe the ball or whatever, and he moves his elbow and touches his head, it's a flagrant on a guy that had no idea that a player was around, right? And that's an unintentional consequence. I think because of that, there's a bit of softness that has gone along with this. I think there's a bit of softness that's gone along with the NBA, and because of that softness, it has allowed players to, I think, embrace this kind of mentality that just does not vibe to me to the nth degree of what you would normally see at the rec, at a park. It gets heated sometimes in the park, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that every single time that it happens, it's going to be all out brawl. But I miss the trash talk. I miss some of the physicality. I do, and I think because of that, and the AAU circuit. Listen, these guys come up through the AAU circuit. They all play together. They all play on the same club teams. They're trying to mirror that club atmosphere at the NBA level by trying to play with their best friends or trying to gather up some of these best players so that way they can have the best opportunity to win championships, because there's nothing wrong with that. But that mentality, I think, instead of just wanting to take over a team and an organization and be the identity yourself to try and build something, I think it's been more watered down. And I don't think it's good for the game. And you kind of brought this up when there was an instance with Draymond Green the other night. And you basically said, I'm going to read your tweet verbatim. It says, the new NBA, period. Shake hands with a guy that called your teammate out and was wrong, especially when he stayed on the court to initiate the contact and dared you to ignore him. I credit Draymond in that he confronts the possible situation and dared the Knicks players to ignore. Draymond truly does. I would say that if there's any player that has ever represented the older era, it would be Draymond Green. He's an instigator. Yeah. He's a trash talker, and he's not afraid to back it up physically. But he's more the exception than the rule in Egypt.
Yeah, he is. He is. I was appalled when I saw that. But it epitomizes a lot of what we see, right? I think the biggest mistake that the NBA allow arenas to make is players cross each other after games. Now, I know in the college level, high school level, players have to line up to shake hands after. I don't want people to take this the wrong way, that are like, so, the sportsmanship of the game. I don't want to talk to anybody that just whooped my ass immediately after the contest. I just don't. I don't. It's not sincere. It's not. Like, I am being honest here. It's not sincere. So a guy that I've been battling with, now he knocking me around, I'm calling him names, he's calling me names, and we're going to shake hands after the game. You think that dude want to shake my hand? No, he doesn't. Maybe after he cools down, we're in the back or something, we cross paths going to our bus, the opponent, oh, yeah, hey, man, good game. But to have to confront the guy right after, I just call it hogwash. I do. It's not competition. It's not a negative to competition when that happens. It just truly isn't. It's love affair, man, that's exhibited in front of everybody before games and after games just drives me nuts. You know me. I show up to look, as a player, I rarely. Every now and then, it's an exception to the rule. You accidentally walk past somebody, could be an ex-teammate. Maybe something's happened in their life. You go up to them and say, hey, man, whatever. Okay, it's always exceptions to the rule. But I was one that rarely said anything to my friends or anybody before a game. Never. I would go out of my way not to see them, because I didn't want them to have an advantage of niceness on me. I just did not. And after the game, I would wait till I went in the locker room, take a shower. They take a shower. I'll come out. If it's a really good friend, I'll hug them. They say, man, good game, blah, blah, blah. Good luck in the future. Fine. But, man, somebody just whooped my butt. I'm not man, please. Draymond called Karl Anthony Towns out. Said he was scared to play against Jimmy Butler. Not knowing on his podcast now, that's viewed by a lot of people. He and Ed McMahon, Baron Davis is his co-host. They basically, going through their stuff, all right, and not really knowing, and all of a sudden calls out Karl Anthony Towns saying he's afraid of Jimmy Butler. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When has Jimmy Butler had a fight in the NBA? If he and Karl Anthony Towns got into it, I put my money that Karl Anthony Towns whoops his butt.
I'll say that's pretty good money.
So why is he scared of Jimmy Butler? So Draymond says this not knowing that, and that's fine. He didn't know it. Fine. That Karl Anthony Towns was basically mourning a loss of a friend. All right, that passed away. So, okay, he didn't know it. Fine. But then, after he was informed about it, he doubles down and says, well, the Draymond Green podcast is going to go on. And this never apologized. And so the Knicks, basically, after they lose, they cross paths again, which I hate. I hate that. These arenas of having players cross paths after a game. And Draymond stays out there. Now, I guarantee you, if Golden State had lost, Draymond would not have stayed out there. And that's another hypocritical move, okay? He would never have stayed out there shaking hands, all right, and saying a good job if they had lost, unless it's the Lakers, because, LeBron's is, I'm not going to go there, but, he looks up to LeBron, so he'll stay out there for him. But other than that, he's not shaking hands. If anything, he's chasing after officials, blaming them. Come on. So I saw him once go at KD after the Suns beat him last year on their floor, and he didn't shake his hand. He was woofing and screaming at him, okay? So we know what Draymond will do. Now he's out there hanging around. Knicks just lost a tough game, close game, and he hugging dudes. How can you hug somebody when he just rips your teammate and a teammate that's playing at an all-NBA level in Karl Anthony Towns? You got to side with your teammate. Thibodeau even hugged him. Man, get out of here with that stuff, man. Man, I would have walked right past him. Dude, please, whatever.
I will say this. In life, I think there are opportunities where you can take the high road. But I also think that if you are working day in and day out with an individual like Karl Anthony Towns, or even in your local workplace, right? And somebody clearly does something wrong and intentional to disrespect you, and your coworkers or your friends go over there and they're just like buddy with the dude that just completely disrespected you, you're gonna feel some type of way. And I don't know where this all blurred, where it was like sportsmanship and friendship and all these lines. But I'm right there with you. I mean, like I'd be like, bro, go kick rocks. Like, I'm not even trying that, man. That's my guy. And you disrespect my guy. Like, you're lucky we don't fight right now. Like, that's just what it is. And I don't understand the mentality here. I really don't. I think that's where the individuality of players comes into effect, where each player is that, like, basically their own self-run business to a certain degree in a professional level. And because of that, they can compartmentalize, and whatever happens with Cat happens with Cat. Whatever happens with Draymond happens with Draymond. It didn't affect me, so it doesn't bother me. So I'm gonna just keep going about my business. And if I want to dap somebody up after the game, even though we lost, I'm gonna dap somebody up. And I don't compute with it. I don't think you compute with that. I don't understand it at all. It's been something that's been happening. Like, again, I truly believe it started about 10, 15 years ago with this this kind of like everybody gets a ribbon, everybody gets a medal kind of thing at the junior level, and it kind of grows. Yeah, everybody's celebrated for even the most mediocre of things. Yeah, everybody's celebrated for the most mediocre of achievements instead of recognizing, like, yeah, dog, you took an L. Like, for instance, back when I was in the military, there was this thing called the blue rope, right? And the blue rope represented like the top 1% of training instructors in boot camp. And right before I deployed to Iraq, I went up for this blue rope. And I'd gone up for it about 2 times before and only got so far. Couldn't get past this one part. So I go up this 3rd time and I pass the part, and I get to the very like the second to last step. And I had to teach this class. And it was a routine class that I've taught a million times. And after everything was done, later on that night, we get the memo that I didn't make the cut. And I still, to this day, have not let that go. And I remember every single evaluator that evaluated me in that drill competition, that I felt like I exceeded expectations, and I didn't meet them. Like, I held that grudge because I'm competitive and I wanted that rope. I wanted that visible sign that, like, yeah, I'm one of the best of the best. And because I had done it, doing the job, I had done it, but doing an instructional thing, I wasn't able to get it. And it was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. It truly is. And I still think about it all the time, because that competitiveness in me won't let it go. Like, it just won't. No. It's not bitterness towards like the fact that I didn't get the rope. It's bitterness that I wasn't able to achieve something that I felt like was achievable. And I felt like I competed against the best of the best, and seeing some of the people that were getting this honor, I just knew I was, like, performance wise, I was better. I was a million% better. Like, my flights would tell you that story. But it is what it is. And when I talk to my kids, I would play basketball. I played basketball with my kids at the park about 2 years ago. And I'm giving my second oldest the business. And he says the word try hard. Like, he called me a try hard. And I was just like, well, maybe if you try harder, I'm not gonna say the rest of it, but, like, I was giving it back to him, because, son, you better step your game up if you want to try and compete, because I'm not just gonna give you anything. I'm not just gonna half-ass it because you want to half-ass it. That's just not the way this goes. And I don't know what's going on right now, but that definitely feels like there's kind of that DNA within some of these players right now.
Well, it started back in AAU. All these guys know each other, and it's the way they were raised up in the game. It goes back to the sportsmanship, because you got parents out there that they want second, third, fourth place trophies, which is, I told my son one time, he came in with like a second place trophy. I said, if I was you, I'd break that. Throw it in the garbage. You should never be satisfied with second place. You should be proud of your effort, look in the mirror and say, hey, I tried my best. But if I was you, I wouldn't want to hang that thing up. And so, and he's, turned out to be very competitive, and he hated losing, and he'd cry after games. He'd be so mad. And I love that about him. I didn't want him to grow up like accepting somebody beating your head in. It bothers me. Like, I didn't watch the Suns game yesterday. I listened to it on the radio while I was playing golf. I was playing golf with some guys that were like kicking my butt, and I didn't like it. They're both single-digit handicap, like 1 or 2 handicaps. I didn't expect to win when I showed up, but I was going to do everything I could to win, and it didn't work. It's been a time or two where I've gotten them, but I didn't get them yesterday, and it bothered me. Like, and they're playing from the back tees. I'm 65. I'm playing from the up tees. These dudes hitting the ball 300 yards. And so it ticks me off. And I drove home. I was mad yesterday. Like, think about that. I'm ticked off, just like I would in a game. You know, well, I love them both. They're good friends. But still, it ticked me off. And I have that in me, man. You know, you've played golf with me. Like, people love to play golf with me because I bring out the competitor in them. And, like, we need more players to bring that toughness. And Draymond does that. You know, say what you want about Draymond. I think he's a little off center, but that's fine. But you'd want him on your team. If he was a Phoenix Sun, I guarantee you Suns fans would be pumped up about him. You know, do I want to see that look on his face and see him win again this year in Golden State? No, I don't. As much as I love Steph Curry, okay, and hope for the best for Steph Curry, no, I don't. Much as I'm good friends with Steve Kerr, no, I don't. Okay, but it's a chance they might. You know, and it's because they have guys like that on their team. And now Draymond and now Jimmy Butler. Like, so that's the part, man, that, you know, guys are missing. So I was disappointed in the Knicks in that they did that. I think Brunson probably would have walked past him. See, I don't know if he was traveling with the team, but I would have surmised that Brunson and his dad, and I'm shocked. I got to get on Rick Brunson too, you know, because Rick's a tough dude, right? Rick got on me once a couple of years ago because he said I was a little negative on his son, which he's supposed to, you know, come up to me and question that. And so I know he wouldn't. I know he would have grabbed some guys and say, man, get away from him. You know, so it's just that part bothers me, man. You know, the competition is competition at the highest level. That's why I love those college guys. Crying, you know, Coleman Hawkins, you know, showing his emotion and ticked off that he lost. And, you know, we'll see a lot of it over the next couple of weeks. We'll see you cry when Arizona get their head handed to them. So, I mean, it's like, it's just that, man, you know, and I'll be there to support you when they lose in the first round, probably. I mean, the team that they're playing, Akron, is pretty good.
Oh my God! You got to stop because y'all about to lose to Sean Miller and Xavier in the first round after they get past Texas, who should have never been in the first place.
They got to do a play-in game. We're not losing to two teams that's in the play-in game. Okay?
Yes, you are.
No,
yes, you
they're
are.
in the play-in game.
Yes, you are.
They're in the play-in game. They might
the
as
Big
well
Ten is like the weakest basketball conference of all time. What are you talking about?
They might as well play on out, play in, play out. That's what they need to do.
Playing you,
okay?
Right.
Akron, and Akron is like 22-4. I mean, like it ain't like they chop liver.
They're 27-5. They're all right. They're good.
Y'all in trouble. You all in trouble.
I don't think you need to be talking. Hey, y'all got housed by like 40 the other night. What are you talking about?
Hey, that's true.
30 plus points in a conference tournament.
Maryland probably will win it all.
Maryland. Okay.
Them boys are big. Let me tell you something. That's a big team, dude.
Maryland will probably win it all, you said?
They could probably do it. They're that talented.
Oh, man.
Have you watched Maryland play? You obviously have not.
I have, but they're not going to win it all. Come on.
They might win it all. I'm telling you, they got some big boys. Them guards are good on that team. You better watch them. They're good, man. I'm telling you. So, you know, that's fine. They got us. They got us. It's just one game, but we're there. We're there in the dance. We're dancing.
My 4-seeded Wildcats are going to be just fine compared to your 6-seeded
Y'all going to lose to Akron.
Okay.
Akron.
All right.
Well, do you even know where Akron is?
Yeah, it's in Ohio. That's where LeBron's from. I got you. The Zips. The Zips. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a big kangaroo-looking thing. I don't even know what it is.
That's why you're going to lose, because the king.
Okay.
The king resides there.
You want to turn off your strobe light now? This ain't the club, man. This ain't the club. This ain't Friday night, man. All right? I can't stop it.
That's what we gonna be doing. Dancing.
Oh,
He's a dancing machine.
No, you didn't. Oh my goodness, we're off the rails right now. Oh man, I think that's our message to land the plane. Well, before we do land the plane, let's get into my least favorite topic of all time now. I used to be kind of like, yeah. Now I'm like, I'd rather just kick rocks than talk about this topic. But let's get into it. Cheryl Miller gave her top 3 of all time. Here we go. And this is a played out subject. It's a tired subject. I acknowledge that, people, but there's a different slant that I kind of wanted to take on this. But first, let's hear what Cheryl Miller had to say on the Up in Smoke podcast.
Rank these 3 in order. Your order: MJ, Kobe, LeBron.
Yeah, you gonna do that one.
Come on now.
You've been running all day.
We let you slide on the other ones.
MJ, Kobe, LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows where I live. That's a good.
Your brother do though.
But you guys can't get a hold of him, so I'm good. I got to go with MJ, LeBron, and then Kobe.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
How can you go wrong with that?
You can, because when you look at LeBron, in my opinion, too, is the greatest phenomenal specimen of an athlete.
Yeah, we have a saying.
Physically, a physical. I don't know if we'll ever see a physical marvel of someone of his magnitude, and it's just not. It's his. You got to take that, and then longevity.
Everything.
Okay. LeBron, MJ,
Ooh,
Kobe.
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that at
Since
all.
you talk me, I've got it.
Yeah.
I just got from longevity, and he is still balling.
Listen, Cheryl Miller isn't wrong. Again, what LeBron is doing is something we've never seen at this level before from a guy. From a physical standpoint, from a production standpoint, he's in a category of his own. I will never ever dispute that because it's true. It is true. However, I don't think that the argument here is when you're talking about the GOAT. I don't think it's necessarily the reason why people pick MJ is necessarily because he's physically just a better basketball player. I don't think it's that. I think it's more the mentality more than anything else. And it kind of goes to our former point about the competitive nature of the game. And MJ has just always been that killer. That's what he's known as. He's been a savage. He's just that kind of guy. LeBron, for like it or hate it, he's kind of been the poster child for this era of basketball, and some of this era of basketball is not viewed highly upon. So that's where I would go. Listen, if you want to say that LeBron's the GOAT, I have no problems with that. That's not a big deal to me. I don't care. I think this is a useless argument in the first place. But if you want to say Michael Jordan is the GOAT, then that's fine too. I see where she's going. I don't know why people put Kobe in there. I think Kobe's only in there because there's so many LA Laker fans that love Kobe. Yeah. But Kobe should not be. He's not in the same. It's those two guys, and then it's everybody else. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Well, look, and I haven't been really. I respond to certain guys talking about it now, and I've always said that I didn't want to anoint somebody as a GOAT while they were still playing. And to me, in my heart and mind, Magic is my GOAT. Yeah. And so it's because that's what I lean to in regards to me as a player in combination with him and see what he does. So everybody, like a lot of NBA players, they say who's the GOAT based on what they're seeing. And here's the thing, and I hope his finality with me with this is that, you know, the hypocritical nature of saying why somebody is the GOAT. Like, it's two different angles you're going to go. One, you're going to try to concentrate on the winning, what they won, okay? Or you're going to try to concentrate on the individual. Here's what I will say, and I'll continually say it. The winning part is a team. It's not an individual. People, it's a team. It's not an individual. I don't care how great Michael Jordan was. He does not win 6 without Scottie. He does not win 6 without Paxson, without Kerr, without the front office, without the ownership. He does not. And it proved itself early on in his career when he was 0-7. So if we're going to talk about he's the GOAT because he went 6-0, then Bill Russell's the GOAT. Bill Russell is the GOAT. He won 11. He won 8 straight. 8 straight. Now, don't tell me, oh, it was only 10 teams. That means all the best players were on 10 teams. Imagine in the NBA right now, out of the 30 teams, if you condensed it to, say, 15 teams. Can you imagine how deep each roster would be? So now every game would be unbelievable because now you've condensed it and all these top players are on 15 teams, which means every team has tremendous players. You know how difficult that would be? So I don't want to hear it. Like, if you want to go that way, then it's Bill Russell. But if you want to go prototype basketball player, God designed them to play the game. Okay? Strength, speed, all of that. All right? I'm going with LeBron. And it's no disrespect to Michael. I'm going with the guy that not only is the all-time leading scorer, the one that lasted the longest with his body and made sure that he could play every game, the one that's in the top 5 in assists, as well as top in scoring. So if we put all this into a bottle, and 50 years later, somebody found the bottle, and they had the stats of LeBron and MJ in a bottle, who do you think in their mind was the best player ever? So that, to me, is like, you pick and choose who you want, but don't tell me it's because he's 6-0. You got to give me some other stuff, man, because Bill Russell is the GOAT then if it's about winning. He's the winningest basketball player in the history of this game, bar none.
Okay. I think it's a lot more than just the 6 titles. And to your point, EJ, you always say this.
What do you mean it's a lot? You say it's a lot. I know it's more than
wait. You had your chance. Hold on. Let me talk.
But you just said something I got to correct you on.
No.
Of course, MJ is a dynamic basketball player. Are you kidding me? He's the best scorer in the history of the game.
That's not what I'm saying.
All right, but you just said it's not about. You said like I just said it was just about not winning.
No, you said you said that the main argument people have is that he was 6-0 in the finals or 6 championships.
That's trump LeBron.
But there's other things that can trump LeBron. Like, let's not get it twisted here. But the thing that you always lose me at
what's the other
is
things?
that come on, guy. Are you serious?
What's the other things?
Defensive Player of the Year. NBA Finals
LeBron
MVP.
was one of the best defensive players in his prime.
He was never Defensive Player of the Year.
But that's a vote.
He also wasn't on the all-defensive team as many times as Michael Jordan, even with his longevity.
That's a vote. That is a vote. That is people voting. That's what that is. Just like an all-star game. I never made an all-star game, but damn it, I should have been in it 3 times. So it's a vote. So when
Michael has more scoring titles than he does.
I don't put people. I say he's the greatest scorer ever. I already said that.
Bro, you're not even letting me get to my point. You're not even letting me get to my point.
But the thing that gets me though, and I'll be quiet. The thing that gets me, don't use this all-star game stuff. Don't use all defensive team, all that, because it's a vote. Because I will tell you till I'm blue in the face, I wanted Michael guarding me the first 3 quarters of any damn game. Any game. Because he wasn't guarding. He wasn't. He was scoring. But in the 4th quarter, when he wanted to turn it on, he did. Scottie was the one I hated guarding me. So that's my point. Like, I don't want to hear this vote stuff, man. That's all. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, this is where you lose me with your LeBron argument. When you constantly try to undermine Michael because of Scottie, but you don't ever talk about the help that LeBron also had. Okay.
Well, I'm not
Like,
counting this title.
There's a reason why he left Cleveland, because he didn't have that extra person to be able to rely on.
I agree.
So he added 2 guys in Miami to help him finally get over that hump. And ever since then, he's always had that extra person. So you can't throw Michael under the bus for having Scotty and not throw LeBron under the bus for having his help to get his titles.
No,
right?
I'm not doing
That's
that.
But that's what you do.
No,
That's what you're saying.
So no, what I'm saying is winning. I didn't mention anything about winning to LeBron. I didn't say LeBron won anything. I said basketball specimen. That's what I said. I did not mention winning. One description of LeBron, I did not mention winning.
You did, but by saying that Michael didn't win until Scotty was Scotty, you're basically saying that LeBron didn't have to do that.
No, because LeBron went to freaking 8 championships in 9 years, man. That's winning. And every team he played against was an all-time team. He lost to San Antonio. He lost to Golden State. Okay, all due respect to who Michael beat. He beat an old Laker team. Okay, he beat the Trailblazers that weren't ranked that high. He beat Utah twice.
The Trailblazers were running through the league. What are you talking about?
No, they were running, but they're not an all-time team compared to Golden State.
If the Trailblazers would have won one championship in that era, you can't tell me that they wouldn't have been considered one of the greatest teams of all time.
But they're not an all-time team compared to what Golden State was doing. They're not. They're not. And they were not. Tell me, they were not. And they were not compared to San Antonio. So my point is, that's who he played in the finals. He played top team and was the underdog. He was only the favorite one time, and that was against Dallas. That's it.
And what happened?
Every other final they were in, he was an underdog.
And what happened in the one against Dallas when he was the favorite?
Okay. Other than Oklahoma City, they beat Oklahoma City. They were favored in Oklahoma City when they beat them. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. So I'm not ripping on. I'm not. Look. Michael's unbelievable, man. I'm not doing that. But what I'm doing is I'm just saying I'm going to always protect the guy that in 7 out of the 8 statistical categories in the total amount of finals in the 6-0 run, 7 out of 8, Scottie Pippen was the top. Now, in any other situation, if you had a player that led in 7 categories in all of the statistical columns, how can the heck can he not be up there and say, oh, he's the best? Because I guarantee you, if Michael had led in 7 of the 8, he'd still be on top of Scottie. And Scottie led the team in scoring because it was Michael. It was Michael. You just brought up Kobe.
You answered this question for me then, okay? You got a Game 7 NBA Finals on the line. Which one you going with?
But that doesn't mean that you're
No. Yes,
Listen,
it does. That's part of the argument.
No, it does not. It means you're the best scorer, man. It means you're the best scorer. It doesn't mean you're the best player.
It means you're the one that I trust the most to get the job done. That's what it means. It doesn't necessarily mean that.
Hey, I wasn't the best player on Seattle. Who the heck did you think they went to? With Gary Payton and Sean Kemp on the team. Who you think they went to? They went to me and Ricky Pierce. They didn't go to them two. Guarantee you they didn't. They ran to play for me or Ricky Pierce. Now, I wasn't better than Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. It doesn't matter. Like, it's who you trust to be able to go get the bucket. But that didn't make me know. And Gary Payton would come on this show and tell you. He would defer to me.
I get that.
Okay, but so my point is, so all I'm saying, when people bring up, man, that, who the go-to guy and all that stuff. Man, look, he and Kobe were great offensive players. They were doing their job. They supposed to shoot it. Okay? But guess what Scottie was doing? Facilitating it. Making sure he got it to him in the right moment. That's more important than Michael making the bucket.
My God. DJ, you're acting like Scottie was like just all other work, like on the same level as Michael.
No, he wasn't.
In terms of this.
Scottie was not on the same level as Michael.
Michael also carried Scottie like more than most.
They carried each other. They carried each other
How
without
do
a
you
doubt.
get, how do you give them equal weight, but you don't give anybody else equal weight to LeBron?
No, I said they carried each other equally. They carried each other equally. Phil Jackson took the ball from Michael. Anybody take the ball from LeBron? I'll wait. I'll wait.
You don't have to take the ball from LeBron because he wasn't winning championships, so it doesn't matter.
No, because boom. That's why. Because boom, he run everything. He makes sure everybody got their touches. That's why they couldn't take it from him. They took it from Michael. Okay, and that's why they went 6-0, because now they forced him to play off the ball. Phil Jackson took it from Kobe when Kobe was ready to lead the Lakers and quit and say, I don't want to be here anymore. Phil took it from him, said, you got to trust Derek Fisher to get you the ball. You got to trust Rick Fox to get you the ball. You got to trust Luke Walton to get you the ball. And guess what? He won titles with Pau Gasol. That's all I'm saying. So my point is, if you want to talk about the best basketball specimen player, okay, in the history,
that's not what we're just talking about, though. There's more to it than just that.
No, it's not, because because both of them were winners. Both of them were winners. Michael won more. Okay, give him the edge on that. But they were both winners. They both were winners. They both got MVPs in every title that they won.
EJ,
okay, LeBron got it 4 times. Michael got it 6 times.
But that's not my argument.
They both got it.
My argument with you is not that. My argument with you is like you're always saying Michael, but Scotty, but you're never saying LeBron, but Kyrie. Because if Kyrie offensively isn't there,
me?
They ain't losing that.
Are you kidding me? If Kyrie the last two games against Golden State, when LeBron was dropping 40-point triple doubles, Kyrie was dropping 42. Kyrie was dropping 42. He needed Kyrie. Well, of course he did. He needed Dwayne Wade after the first year, when Dwayne Wade finally relented to him and gave him the team, because the first year he didn't. So he needed all of them guys. Are you kidding me? Yes. I'm not saying he didn't need anybody. He doesn't win without Kyrie. No way he does. They don't come back down 3-1. No way. But I'm just saying Kyrie gets more love attached to LeBron in regards to helping him than Scotty gets.
Oh, no.
Yes.
He does.
Yes, he does.
No,
Kyrie,
he does.
LeBron had the biggest shot, one of the biggest shot blocks in the history of the game.
Sure. Yeah, he
on
did.
Iguodala, and nobody wants to talk about that to the level. They talk about the fact that Kyrie hit a game-winning shot. They don't.
Are you kidding me?
No, they don't.
Every damn highlight you see in the NBA Finals, even if LeBron's not playing it, they always talk about the block.
It's going to say no, because they say if it wasn't for Kyrie hitting a jumper, listen, look, I know my stuff. They'll say if it wasn't for Kyrie hitting a jumper, he loses that. That's what they say. That's the first thing come out of their mouth.
Shane, I know there's some comments. You got to throw some comments. I know there's some comments, Shane. You got to throw some comments up.
That's fine. If it wasn't for Ray Allen knocking down the 3, he loses. But what they don't know is he scored 16 in the 4th to even get them back from a 9-point deficit. Okay, and he hit a 3 2 plays before that to put Ray Allen in position to make the 3. So my point to you again is that he doesn't get that. So it goes back and forth. It's the same way. You act like it's just one way. It's not. It's both ways.
They were the favorite against San Antonio. Don't get it twisted. They were the favorite.
When?
You know that. The first time they played San Antonio, they were the favorite.
It's an
all-time.
What I'm telling no, they weren't. No,
yes,
I don't think they were. I don't think they were. But
San Antonio was considered like old.
But no, the one when San Antonio came back and got them. No, not that one. It was the next year when San Antonio came back and they got them. Okay. But my point to you, they had 3 Hall of Famers and they were playing at an all-time level. It was an unbelievable team. That's what it was. So they weren't easy to beat. If they were easy to beat, they would have lost before they got out of the West. They weren't easy to beat.
That's another episode of Outside Shots, folks. That's why I didn't want to get into that. But that's my guy, Eddie Johnson, Jump Shot 8 on Twitter and on Instagram. You can follow me at Saul.
I agree with Cheryl Miller. Even though I love him,
And you can follow the show at PHNX
Miller.
_Suns. Make sure you follow the Suns pre and post game shows tonight when they play the Toronto Raptors, and pray for a miracle comeback to get in this plan. We'll see. We'll cross our fingers. But EJ, any parting words? You got about 15 seconds.
No, I mean, I'm good. I mean,
Okay.
two games right here. Toronto, Chicago, not easy teams. Toronto kicked our butt a couple weeks ago, so
Yep.
got to get these two.
Until next time, folks, we love y'all. Peace.
Peace.